let's go to Tanya for Tuesday. Tanya Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Page 72. And we are finishing chapter 51. It is a... okay, let's go to it.
The aliyah for today in the Chumash is not bad. It's short. Not too short, but short.
Never bad. It's just,
No, chas v'shalom, of course.
Just lengthy. Okay.
Lengthy.
So we talked about yesterday, as I understood it, because it is it's a little bit unclear to me, but I feel like this. You got three things. We're trying to understand the Shekhinah, how God manifests in the world, which means there's a certain relationship to the world.
Can we say this is dedicated to Mordechai Baruch and Mordechai Shraga?
Today's class is dedicated to the Ilui Nishmas Baruch and Mordechai Shraga. May his neshama have an aliyah.
Amen, amen, amen.
Okay. Why, thank you. So we talked about to understand
who died.
My daughter-in-law's father.
Not local.
My daughter-in-law's father.
Brooke Diamus.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's keep focused here. So we talked about how does the Shekhinah work? How can we kind of appreciate how the Shekhinah, what's the Shekhinah? What does that mean? How does it operate? So we went to an analogy in the person. A person is an image of God. A person is a microcosm. So we understand the intersection of the soul and the body's relationship. We'll understand. The Gemara says it the same way that God, the soul fills the body, animates the body. God fills the world, animates the world. So That's the Shekhinah aspect. So how does it work in the person? You have the soul, we said, is indivisible. You cannot say it as parts. Why? At least from my understanding as of now, parts is a very physical thing. Parts would mean it's physical. If you say it's spiritual, which I can push back on this, but something is spiritual, I guess relative to the physical, it is simple. It is indivisible. Does that make sense? I mean, being simple is that it's not complex, means it's made of parts.
Okay.
Every physical organism is made of parts.
Okay.
That's just the way it is.
Okay.
Relative to spiritual, to physical, a spiritual entity does not have any of those parts. It's not complex like that.
Right. Okay. Understood. But you said simple.
Simple means not parts.
Okay. Sure.
So if something is spiritual, we have to say there's no parts. Then you have a problem. I mean, I guess I'm not really...
a little tricky.
We're saying like statements, so we have to like take these statements and not question them overly because then we can't move on. So actually, to be fair, the essence of a spiritual being Can't have parts. The essence. That's the key, I think. One of the keys. Because so there's three parts of the soul, of the way the soul deals: intrinsic essence, hashra, permeation, and then manifestation. Again, the intrinsic essence of the soul, the way the soul is hashra, permeation, and then manifestation into the limbs.
Rabbi, can you explain those three English words you use?
Essence, the
first
core, that's intrinsic essence, the
one.
core.
Okay, is essence. Okay.
Then there's the way that the core does permeate.
What was the second word you used?
Permeation,
Okay.
which means it. Let's see what it says here. The intrinsic essence, it's not revealed, so it doesn't make a difference if it's a toenail or it's a brain. The essence of the soul is equally everywhere
Okay.
because it's not revealed in its full sense. It's just a little bit of it's revealed, but not most of it.
That's the first one.
That's the essence of the soul.
The second
That is life itself. I mean, the fact that a body, an inanimate object becomes full of life is due to the essence of the soul. Then there's the permeation, which is the soul rests in the body, means it has to go to locations. So the first, where does it permeate? Into this brain. And the third level is manifestation, where it actually goes into different parts of the body. So the permeation, I call it the portal of resting on the brain, and then there's the diffusing it to separate areas is different. Sometimes you could have permeation without manifestation, and you can have manifestation without permeation. Let's see. The soul might be manifest in a different place from where it resides. For example, a painter's hand can serve as a tool for the revelation of the inner being of the soul more than the brain. The manifestation, when I say the revelation, there were great artists who were very coarse people. They're not refined people, but they could paint very well. Mm-hmm. How could such a lowlife be such a great painter? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Because while the soul goes through the brain to the hand of the painter, it's interesting that the interior of the soul it could be revealed in a different part of the body. It's interesting. So when we say the soul is making the hand move and do it at once, there is a way that an aspect of the greatness of the soul can be in the limb, in the body, in the hand. And it passes through the brain, but it's not being revealed in the brain, it's being revealed in that particular limb. Let's say an athlete. It's very interesting. This is a very interesting concept. The Gemara in Saita talks about 5 people they used a certain aspect of themselves, and it was almost they were divine. Shimshon, Saul, Avshalom, Tzidkin, Asa. Meaning, like Shimshon's strength, for example. In a certain part of their being, they're perfect. Meaning, Shimshon manifests the power of the soul and divine in his hands, not in his brain as much. So that's for you. another example he gives. So I'm not getting how it really skips the brain, because sometimes we think everything goes to the brain. Everything does go to the brain, but it's not. It could be revealed in a way more in a limb than in the brain. Mount Sinai, Mount Moriah. Mount Sinai was a place of manifestation, right? God revealed himself there.
Mm-hmm.
Then it left. And then no longer is Mount Sinai a holy place.
Rabbi, I realize I probably should just be listening rather than commenting, but this strikes me as extremely strange because I would think a painter would have to visualize what he or she is painting, and the hand isn't just sort of moving on its own. Like you can
Agreed,
turn off the
100%,
brain.
100%.
Okay.
Not like the Thing from the Addams Family, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not the Thing, another thing. It was the hand, right?
Right.
Who was what hand was it? The Thing or the Thing? The Thing was the
Oh,
hand.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but the soul is so.
So it's a good question, and that's in the Steinsaltz. I don't want to. That's not the Alter Rebbe. That's his own thing. So I'm not gonna. It's an interesting. He's trying to give a modern example, but I don't really know, to be honest. The point is
the
that
soul can do anything.
no, we have to understand how it works. We can't say you can do it.
No, I understand that, but that's the reason why I can bypass. That's the reason
So
why
I'm used to. I have it here, Sam. Sure.
That's the reason why I can bypass. That's the
It's
reason
interesting
why I
when
can
you
bypass.
write, when you type pretty quickly. I type pretty quickly. Obviously, there's a certain working
mechanism.
there's a certain working knowledge that's making it happen, but it becomes instinctive, right? The instinctiveness of it. So I'm not sure that works with habits. Like once it becomes so ingrained, how much of the brain power are you using to do it? Like, and what does brain power mean? Is brain power thinking, E equals MC squared, like a big idea? Or when you do something that uses the habituation of the hand or whatever, it's obviously less focused brain power. So as I'm saying, I'm a little bit struggling here because these are very important terms. The point is that there's three levels. There's 3 points, and he calls it fancier words. We called it more basic words, which was there is the essence of the soul that is indivisible. It's not in one place more than another. All we can say we know is that it's life. An aspect of the soul, which is much more than just physical life, is that it's alive. It's a dynamic, live thing. And that's what gives all our body parts and everything from our brain to our toenail life, because it's this indivisible, almost inexplicable force that is just everywhere. Okay, that's because it's a simple organism. It's not complex. It's indivisible organism. Okay. Then let's go to the second. We say the soul then goes into the brain. Actually goes into the animal soul, I think we said yesterday, because the animal soul is kind of a bridge. On one hand, it cares about the body's drive and stuff, but it's spiritual. So it's a spiritual entity that is divisible, and it does have a relationship to like physical is parts, spiritual is not parts. But there is this middle thing of where there's spiritual that is does have I guess a kind of parts. The animal soul, that's what we said, because it's spiritual, so it relates to the essence, but it also relates to the body, meaning it has relationship to the parts. Mm-hmm. How that works, I don't know. I'm not sure. You said spiritual can have parts, and that does have parts. I guess levels of spirituality, and that plays into the brain, and that comes the soul, the life force, into the animal drive, into the brain is where it is permeating. It's really, the brain, I think, is like a glove for this. It's a very sophisticated instrument that where this, I guess, lowered level of spirituality can first rest, because it's a lofty organ of the person. That's stage 2. I'm not clear on that exactly, but that's how we can go.
That was pretty good.
It's words.
was pretty good.
Word salad, you know.
That was pretty good.
Thank you. So, and then we say that there's the way the brain through the nervous system sends different types of functions to different parts of the body. The liver, the spleen, the hands, the heart, and so on. They all get signals of how to operate. And that is, he calls it, it's manifestation. Why is manifestation? Because it's a revelation. It's a revelation of a particular, revelation means it has to have boundaries, because if it's too much, then your eyes go blind. You can't get it. It has to be like only a revelation means a part of a revelation, because if it's infinite, you can't get it. It has to be limited. So revelation is a limitation to some degree, to a large degree. So so the fact that the hand can go right or chop wood is a revelation, a manifestation, a limited revelation, but it's a revelation of the soul. So he points out that what's fuzzy here is the middle mechanism, which is going to be important. It doesn't skip. It can't really skip. So when someone becomes a natural athlete, they throw a 3-point shot, and they become very good at it, right? So obviously there's some knowledge, there's some intellect that's doing it, but it seems like it becomes not fully, like, it's not as complex as the original. When you're trying to figure out how to do this, it takes a lot of thought. It eventually becomes natural. So I guess the way he would say here is the natural, instinct that makes you be able to throw the 3-point shot well. It is maybe minimal cognition, and it goes kind of more directly, even though it's via the brain, more directly of the soul's ability to be graceful and throw an arc shot to the hand. That's the way I'm guessing, because you can never skip the brain.
Why not?
How can you skip the brain?
A Harvard professor has posited over time that there are different forms of intellect.
Right,
and
right.
The movement of the body is one form of intellect.
Right.
Reading, writing, arithmetic is another form of intellect. How you interact with people, another form of intellect. And so on. About maybe 7 or 8 forms.
Right, and I know that, but I'm saying here the point is, I'm saying about throwing, typing on typing, right? You do it without thinking. You don't think about it. You just start typing, right?
Well, you don't. You're not. You're using maybe some kind of conscious thinking, but you are using some sort of thinking.
Right. So that's my point. So I'm saying that low level, that kind of minimal level of thinking, that natural thinking, that instinctive thinking, seemingly is what. It's not enough to explain the gracefulness, the instinctive, talent that the hand now has to do it. It's not the fact the hand becomes so trained at it, and it needs minimal thinking, as you say, right? It means instinctive thinking at that point. It seems like there's more. The hand is revealing this ability more than the brain is. Again, I don't 100% understand it, but okay.
Okay.
The point is that you got 3 levels. So now we're going to talk in the analog today. That was all I just said yesterday. In a truly similar manner, figuratively speaking, does the blessed Ein Sof, the infinite light of God, the infinite God, fill all worlds so as to animate them. And in each world, there are creatures without limit or end, the myriads upon myriads of various grades of angels and souls and so on. And so too is the abundance of the worlds without end or limit, one higher than the other, and so on. So when Hashem makes worlds, he's making an infinite amount of worlds. Infinite amount of worlds. Spiritual. I don't know if there's a physical infinite amount of worlds, but there's an infinite amount of spiritual worlds, definitely. So now we said earlier, the essence is equally everywhere. So too, the core essence of the blessed Ein Sof is the same of the higher and lower worlds, as is the example the soul mentioned above. right? The essence of life of the soul is just in the toenail, just in the brain, or the toe, whatever. As written in the Tikkunim, he is hidden from all the hidden. So God's essence is equally in the highest world and the lowest physical rock. That means to say that even the higher hidden worlds, he is hidden and concealed within them, just as he's hidden and concealed in the lower worlds. But he's hidden from all the hidden, meaning even the higher concealed worlds, God's hidden from that because they don't get his essence. They're getting a high level of revelation. They're not getting his essence, though. For no thought can apprehend him at all, even the higher worlds. And God is found just as he's found there in the higher, he's found in the lower worlds. The difference between the higher and lower worlds is in the regard to the flow of vitality, which the blessed Ein Sof caused to flow and illumine in a manner of revelation and of concealment. So why is there a difference of an angel, conscious world and a low physical world where you don't see God? That is not from the essence. That is in the light. And this is one of the reasons why the Kabbalists called influence and flow, God's energy flow. They could have called many things. As a matter of fact, the earlier philosophers called it shefa, which means flow. But they didn't call it flow. They called it light. The reason is because shefa means a little bit of an apple, still a piece of the original apple, right? Mm-hmm. Here we're saying, no, it's not the original. Whatever you're getting down here to give life is not the original. It's light. Light is a secondary byproduct of the source. Mm-hmm. It's not the same thing as the source. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thereby, the light animates the world and the creatures therein. The higher worlds receive this vitality / light in a more revealed form than do the lower. So the angels, they get more light. Again, light is not the essence of God. Light is just a projection of God. It's a high projection in the higher worlds, and it gets dimmed down. It's a lower projection in the lower worlds. And all creatures therein in the higher worlds receive the more revealed aspect of this light according to its capacity and nature. This light, but again, is the energy that gives it existence. Light is the energy. It's not light as in like a shiny, yellow light. It's a energy of its existence is called in the term light, but it's almost like the projection of the hologram, right, of the projector screen. That light is giving the vision existence. So even though we have more depth than just a projection on a screen, it's still the same idea of that it's light. It's a secondary byproduct of the source. Okay. It's a very good byproduct. It comes out. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Which is the light.
What is light?
The way you explain God's energy of all realities, higher and lower, is the term they use as light.
But it's not light.
It's not light like sunlight. Right. It's a metaphor. With God, it's all metaphor. But in the same way, light is not the source, but it's a extension. It's a secondary byproduct, extension of the source. So that does a couple things. First of all, it explains how God is not affected directly, meaning the essence of God is not touched by the different worlds, because that makes duality of God. You want to do that. Right. You want to keep oneness. But it also explains how God can then interact with the world. It's just kind of like extension called light. Or
Extension of it.
This extension. It's like this glimmer. It's not him. It's a glimmer. It's a offshoot. Right. It's not him. And the offshoot is creating the worlds. And that's why if you're a higher being, you get more light. You're a lower being, you get less light, less revelation. Life creation light, which is the nature and form of the particular flow with which the blessed Ein Sof, the infinite one, imbues and illumines it. But the lower worlds, even the spiritual ones, do not receive the life force such a revealed form as to receive in the higher worlds. But only by means of many garments. We get it through these garments that hide, that obfuscate.
What?
Obfuscate.
I'm not sure. You're hiding the obfuscate. Hiding. You're hiding the real what's going on.
Make it unclear.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Sure.
I'm not sure if it's the right word. It's more speech is more obfuscate, right? Use the term. But we try things out here.
Yeah.
Wherein the blessed Ein Sof invests the vitality and light with which he clothes the flow and shine in them in order to animate them. Everything here is coming through sunglasses. So you're not getting the full, as intense light. Filters. These garments, wherein the blessed Ein Sof invests and conceals the light and vitality, are so strong and powerful, the garments that hide it, that thereby this life force and light in this world is so dim, you don't see the source. You see a verily corporeal and physical world. It doesn't show it's really a projection from a source light. And God creates and animates it by vitality and light with which he draws down and shines unto it. This illumination of light that is clothed, hidden, and concealed within the numerous and powerful garments which hide and conceal the light and vitality. So no light of vitality whatsoever is visible, revealed, but only physical things that appear lifeless. You see a rock, you don't see it's a flow of energy being created from God at the moment. Because there's these filters that are hiding that. Symptom. Good, very good. Extra points. Yeah, they contain light and vitality. The truth is, even a rock has light and vitality that's creating it constantly ex nihilo. There's an ongoing light energy force that gives into existence. So they should not revert to nothing and naught as they've been prior to their creation, which we'll learn more about in the second book in a couple weeks. This light comes from the blessed Ein Sof, except that it's clothed in many garments. So it's the same. It's also infinite light. It's just there's filters that are not that are hiding on its infinity. As it's in Eitz Chaim and the light and the vitality of the physical orb of the earth, which is seen by mortal eyes, that derives from Malchut to Malchut of Asiyah, the lowest levels. And in there is the Malchut of the higher world is hidden within there. I guess filtered, but still there, is Malchut of Asira. So then all of them within the level of Malchut of all the worlds, including the level of Malchut of Asiyah, are contained the 10 Sfirot of the loftiest world, the world of Atzilut, which are united with their emanator, the blessed Ein Sof. So the point I was saying is we talked about there's three parts of the soul hitting the body, essence, equally everywhere, the way it's in the brain, the resting, the permeating within the brain, which I'm a little unclear of, but it seems like that even though it's light, it has to come in its entirety into one area first. Like, why do we need the brain? Why can't it just go from the soul and direct into the parts? Why do you need this middle level? So what's the answer? It's some sort of middle level, and therefore the middle level means it has to be physically relatable, the brain, for example, or even let's say that the software of the brain of the human brain is the animal soul. So the software / the hardware need to be the middle portal where it comes in its entirety, all the secondary light, because it's not the essence. And from there it goes to all the different, it's revealed in the different parts. So in the analogy, we said the essence of God everywhere, up there, down here, no difference. The light, the functionality of that being revealed in an infinite kaleidoscope of, beings, creations, that varies. That's different. And the angels have a more
Less
filter, and we have more filter. And rocks have more filter. But that's that sounds like bad, but it's also good. Now you have a lot of stuff. You got rocks, you got people, you got angels. So it sounds like, and those are revelations. Those are specific revelations of God's infinite abilities. Rock, fork, unicorn, human, whatever, whatever. Bird, fish, angel. But now and tomorrow we do chapter 52. We're going to talk about, I think, more of the middle level, which is going to be essentially the Shekhinah, which is the middle, the middle, or it's the middle. It's the first point of the light, not the essence, coming into